following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
Welcome to the SWBC Mortgage Living Room in Frisco, Texas.
Let's go.
Welcome to the show. Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley. I am Shannon Gross, and I think the question that's on everyone's mind is Jesse okay? Is he still sitting on that front porch, or has he gotten off the porch and pulled himself at least into the front door? Jesse, how you feeling today?
You know, I'm good. I am positive. I got some positive things to say today. I talked to my therapist yesterday after the show. She got me back right. Jay Holly is here. Let's go, man. You know, I'm not worried about being on the porch anymore. I'm ready to move on, man.
Hey, it looks like.
Right here. Go ahead on, Shannon. Finish up, babe.
Oh, I was just going to say, Jesse, it looks like you did not only some internal housekeeping, but some external. You got your picture hung on the wall. You got
that's
my
my degree. You can't see. That's my actual degree from North Carolina up there over my head. You can't see because of the glare.
Well, how much it cost you, Jess? Wow. Can I buy one too?
Let's go, Shannon. Let's get this show on the road, baby.
Hey, real quick. Hey, Shannon, you remember our buddy Jay in Rhode Island?
Oh yeah, how could I forget Jay?
He is taking responsibility for this loss. He messaged me yesterday. Remember Johnny Mush, his cousin?
Yeah. Oh no.
Few years back, he went and watched the game with Johnny Mush and a couple of girls, I think.
Yeah, his blind date.
He said it was a terrible experience. He hated it. He was never going to watch again. They lost that day. Well, he got roped into watching the game Sunday with Johnny Mush.
Jay!
Jay said we got mushed.
Jay! Yes, this lands solely at your feet, Jay. I am so disappointed. You promised us you were never going to do that again, man. That's
just like amazing. My dad. Jay and the Cowboys are just like my dad.
Johnny Mush, Jesse's dad. Oh, Nate, how you doing today? You all right?
Hey, great, man. Once again, I've been able to somehow.
You got some more free swag, man.
Oh man, yeah, I got one more shot. I got one more day, man. Wow. So hey, you know what? My pops keep showing up. Mr. Jones, love you, baby.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
All right, where are we going to take this thing today? You know, one thing we didn't really talk a whole lot about yesterday because as we were trying to pick ourselves up off the porch was Dak's performance. Right. He had a record-breaking game. He had 3 costly turnovers, put up a career high 472 yards, 3 touchdowns. I felt like, to me, and you guys give me your input on this, I felt like maybe for the first time when he had the ball at the end of the game that he was at least going to get them down the field and put them in a position to win. And I don't know if it's because Seattle's secondary was so soft and they were able to move the ball all game, but I felt like for the first time I was confident. It felt like I was back in the day when Tony Romo had the ball. You didn't know if he was going to throw an interception, but you knew he was going to take you down the field and at least give you a chance to win a game. And I felt that way with Dak yesterday. How did you guys feel about his overall performance, and do you think he did all that he could do to win that game?
Jesse spoke on it yesterday, man. Go ahead on and repeat it, Jess.
Well, I think he had a really good game, and not to take away from his performance. We're seeing him shelter the load of being the leader of this team, the playmaker of this team. Giving this team every opportunity to win. But he's still at a place where, sadly enough, he has to do more. And that's the unfortunate part, is that he has to do more. Like, in order for this team to win, he has to go and do what Russell Wilson did. He has to go down and drive his team down for a score. And he's done it many times in the past before, but there are times in games where you need your quarterback to overcome all the mistakes, to overcome all the bad coaching, to overcome all the bad plays, to overcome all the bad, whatever you want to call it. You sometimes need that quarterback to erase all of those things and make a play or two to get his team in that position. Even the last play, if you go back and you watch the last play before he threw the interception, I mean, he was sacked. Yeah. I mean, he literally was sacked. And this wasn't no linebacker or DB who had a hold of him. This was another 290, 300-pound defensive tackle, D lineman that had a hold of him, and he fought his way out of that one. I don't know if his internal clock kind of went off in his head and he kind of rushed it a little bit, but he had enough time to kind of reset, refocus, and maybe make a better throw to a better area. But, even that play alone, just being able to get out of that sack and stay on your feet and get the ball downfield was something that you got to just go, wow. But the way that things are going for the Cowboys right now, and it might be unfair, as well as he played, he has to play better. He has to play 2 plays better, because that's the only way that they're going to win right now.
And I want to say this right here, because I was kind of on Dak, and then I go back and I keep continuing to watch the film, because it'll show you more and more as you watch it, and you slow down and don't watch it as a fan, but start analyzing it as a player or as a coach, or however you want to look at it. This is what's so amazing, fellas, is you give up 14 points, 14 not smart points on defense, just 14. Then you give up another 2 on a safety. That all falls on Dak, because he has to answer those points with his offense. That's too much, fellas. That's too much even for Russell Wilson. I watched film of other teams, and this kind of getting away a little bit, but I see a lot of times guys just running wide open in our secondary for the big yardage, scores. Dak has so much on his shoulders, man. And then on top of that, Zeke was not in sync, especially in that first half, dropping passes. He had to overcome that. And multiple offensive line changes. Looney went in, came back out. Right tackle caught the flu, like symptoms. Switched the whole offensive line. This kid is under duress from the first snap. Jesse, you're right. That's a lot to ask for. But guess what, Dak? You signed up for it, baby. And you're going to have to start beating other big guns.
Yep.
You're 0-2 versus other big guns in the league, my friend.
Did you feel, though, that he was that far behind Wilson?
He's not. What Wilson has collectively is a better situation right now. His guys are answering the bell for him. He was not on target at the beginning of the game. Wilson was a little bit off, but guys were making sure they catch that ball. Sometimes your receivers have to make plays for your quarterback to keep his confidence going. Dak was a little bit off earlier in the game, but nobody was catching the ball for him. You have to make plays for that guy. So late in the game, when you need that hookup, where you saw Wilson drop that ball over our defensive back right into DK Metcalf, that was a pitcher throw perfect. But most of the game, he was off. Same with Dak. And like Jesse said, if he'd have just gathered himself, but his pressure had been mounting all game, Jess. And so it kind of threw his clock off. So you have to help your quarterback sometimes as players so that he can help you in the end win a game.
And at times, it's something simple as go back and watch the route by Dalton Schultz, right? He has this his seam route, and you're supposed to snap it off right in front of that safety, and literally it would have been a touchdown. But Dalton just oozed into it. There was no suddenness. There was no abruptness in his action. It was more of a ooze into the route, and you never made the DB feel like you were going to do anything else. You never put your foot in the ground and got across his face hard, and he got broken up. and then you don't end up scoring on that play, on that drive. It's plays like that you know what, he threw a great ball in there, but because you didn't do your part as a route runner, you allow the DB now to come in and make a play on the football, and it mitigates an opportunity to go and score points. It's little things like that where you're saying, man, I need you to be right. I need you to do things right, because I have as a quarterback, I have zero room for error. And that's a tough place to be in as a quarterback of any team, is that I have zero room for error. And, and the same thing is, I have zero room for error on offensive side because our defense can't stop anybody. And it works the same way when you watch a team like Kansas City. They sometimes are able to be more aggressive and to take more chances, because in the back of their mind, we have the guy on the other side where if we give up 7, they can go and get 7 just like that. And they're confident in that. So your defense is allowed to play more free. The play caller is allowed to call calls more aggressively. Guys are able to jump things because in their minds, they're saying, even if I give one up, even if I get smoked, I got an offense, I got a play caller, I got a play designer, and I got a playmaker on the other side of the ball that's going to go back and get us 7 at any given time of the day quick. So but for a quarterback, when on your mind, if everything that you do, you have to be perfect, that is a recipe for disaster, and they begin to think that way, and that's the way you don't want your quarterback to think, that he has to be perfect because nobody else is going to step up.
You guys used to hear me talk about when Tony was here, and I used to say, how do you feel if you're the kid from Kansas City? You wake up and say, man, all I got to do is toss this thing to Tyreek Hill, hand it to the kid from LSU. Well, I got my man out here on Robert out here. I just tossed it to him. I got a big, nice. All I got to do is just make sure I get the ball into these guys' hands. But then you wake up and you Dak, and you wake up saying, man, I got to win this game.
Well,
I got to play perfect. It's a different thought, brother. It's a different thought now.
Shouldn't he have those weapons? I mean, he's got Zeke, one of the best running backs. He's got a receiving core that's considered the best in the league.
I understand what you're saying.
Drops.
What
Zeke had 5 drops.
You can't, brother. Zeke has had 5 drops one game, 2 fumbles the game before. I love Zeke. You talking to the wrong one, brother. I love Zeke, but you cannot put your quarter. Last night, this kid from KC, man, it's 3rd and about 12. This dude throws a 30-yard touchdown bomb. We can't afford to do that in the game. We got to make sure we get this first down to keep everybody satisfied. We got to cover our defense. We got to cover our special teams. That's too much. Right. Just think, we have a special teams that I thought that the best move we ever made this offseason until we got the kid from Oklahoma was our special teams coach. Kansas City is raving about a running back. I'm raving about a special team coach. Okay, but we haven't shown on special teams as of yet that this is true. But that kid from LSU with Kansas City makes them better. Our special team coach should have made us better. We haven't seen it yet.
Let's talk about that. Let's take our first break. Let's talk about special teams. Let's talk a little bit more about this Cowboys offense and a little bit more of recapping the game when we return from our first break on Hangin' with the Boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again for Tailgating with the OtterBox Boys.
OtterBox, the company that builds wildly overprotective phone cases?
The one and only. But cases are just the start. OtterBox is the official outfitter of tailgating.
If they can keep my phone safe, what can they do for my parking lot party?
How about protecting your beverages from suboptimal drinking temperatures with their elevation tumblers? And OtterBox elevation tumblers come in 3 sizes, a 10-ouncer, a 20-ouncer, and even a 64-ounce growler.
Check out all the colors and sizes of their elevation tumblers at otterbox.com.
It's football season, and when you're tailgating with your friends and your family, you want the best meat on your grill. Pettigene Meats makes the best hot dogs, the Pettigene Griller, or the all-beef Franks will score. To complete that tailgate meal, Pettigene Meats has hickory smoked sausage, hot links, Polish sausage, and the best hickory smoked bacon and ham around. Available at your local retailer. and a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. It's Petit Meats. Taste the difference.
We can't wait to see the Cowboys back on the field, and we can't wait to pack AT&T Stadium to watch them play. When that time comes, SeatGeek is the place to get all of your tickets. Plus, tickets to the hundreds of games, concerts, rodeos, and other live events we'll all be able to enjoy again soon. Every SeatGeek purchase is protected by a buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. SeatGeek. Let's go.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to the SWBC Mortgage Living Room, Frisco, Texas. Get your tickets now to see the Cowboys take on the Cleveland Browns this Sunday, October 4th. A limited number of tickets are on sale. Get yours at DallasCowboys.com/tickets. All right, Nate, you mentioned special teams. That was your guy in the offseason. What the hell is going on in special teams? What is going on? Is this coaching? Is this players not playing smart football? Is it a discipline thing? Is it all the above? Go.
It's all the above, but this is what Coach Fossil tried to do. Instead of making these guys earn his respect by showing that you understand down and distance or you understand what you're seeing, he practiced it. He said, I'm going to show belief. He went to his head coach and said, this, and this. Head coach said, we're going to show belief in these guys. They thought that Tony Pollard was that type of guy that can catch that ball 2 yards into the end zone, running forward and getting out at least to the 27, 28-yard line, where he hasn't done that with any consistency. And the week before, he had a fumble. And it wasn't about the kickoff, but he had a fumble that wasn't a fumble, and then he had that boo-booed his package. Now he's not allowed to bring it out at all. I would have went the other way. I believe in you got to show me that you're worthy for me to trust you before I see that, before I do it. And he has called some things, but his players have not executed it, and that gives you pause because. As the teams get better, we'll want 1 and 2, but as the teams get better, you can't take these chances because other teams value their special team play as the teams get better and better and better. And that's what all the Cowboys' schedule don't get softer unless it's the NFC East. But everything else is Bulldogs. Everything else is precision. So these guys got to show these coaches, especially the special team coach, that you can handle the business. The only bright spot we've had is CeeDee Lamb in returning punts. That's it. I don't even think the coverage teams are doing well.
Jesse, what are you seeing on? Go ahead, Kurt.
Well, do you think Pollard he's I think second in the league in returning kickoffs, and he's averaging less than 20 yards a return. I mean, some of those have been relatively deep, taking him out of the end zone. Is this something that the coaches are saying, yes, be aggressive, go for it, or is he just making bad decisions on his own?
I'm gonna let Jesse answer that, man. I blocked for Jesse on the returns, but I never had that. I couldn't call it, so I'm gonna let Jesse answer that.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both. Remember, we kept asking the question offensively is, well, what do we do with Tony Pollard? How can we get him some snaps? So trying to keep a player engaged, you're saying, man, he has this ability to really be able to hit the holes and get through the holes quickly. What you want in a good running back, which a kick returner is nothing but an extended kind of running play, right? If you look at it, as guys are blocking things up, you got to find a hole and hit it. What better person to do that than a running back? And now it's a way for him to get some snaps and kind of give him some sort of rhythm in the game because they haven't been able to find many snaps for him on the offensive side. So where at times where you might have said, nah, keep it in, because you're trying to placate to Tony Pollard and keep him in some sort of rhythm, you allow him every now and again to bring it out. Even though the league average is most people are taking the touchbacks, and so him coming out is just kind of a way of getting him some sort of rhythm. But I think now you're going to start seeing them saying, hey, unless you're like 1 or 2 yards, man, leave that thing in there because we're not getting the results that we need to get. We're not getting past the 25, on average. We're not busting this thing out on average. So let's just leave it in there, save ourselves the trouble, and then go ahead and start at the 25-yard line. But to talk about the entire special teams and what's happening is, inconsistency, sloppy, undisciplined it's like Corona. It's contagious. It's contagious, guys. Yeah. Okay, you very rarely see one group of guys just be undisciplined. Especially sometimes you see it as a team. So when you start seeing it on offense, you start seeing it on defense. It don't all of a sudden stop when you get to special teams. Those same guys are involved in those other teams. So it's not like this whole group is quarantined somewhere else and they don't get a chance to get involved with it. No, they right there with the rest of the jokers. So it's contagious. So it goes from one group to the next group to the next group while all these guys are involved. And so you see the same thing. It's yielding the same results. Sloppiness and inconsistent and undisciplined on offense. Sloppiness and inconsistent and undisciplined on defense. Sloppiness and inconsistent and undisciplined on special teams. This ain't something that you can just separate. You don't separate that by units. All these guys are the same dudes or on offense and on defense. A lot of them play special teams. So when you're seeing kicks get, blocked, and you're seeing kicks going off the side, and you're seeing penalties, and you're seeing guys fumble the snap, well, hell, these are the same guys that are playing on offense and defense. So it's and I'm not making a light or a joke of Corona, but it's contagious like Corona. It gets in a group and it spreads rapidly.
So I
agree 100%.
How does a special teams coach make an impact? I mean, is he telling them we need to block this certain way on a return, or we're going to go left, we're going to go right? I mean, as a fan, some of it
special teams make an impact. Everything that you do in special teams has to be positive because you only get one shot. Mm-hmm. So any negative, a muff punt, a drop kickoff that starts your offense on the 1 yard line. Anything that's not positive on special teams, because you only get one shot. I only get one chance at a kickoff. I only get one chance at a punt. I only get one chance, relatively speaking, unless you get a penalty, I get one shot. That's it. So if it's not positive, then you've hurt your team. And so that's why it's so important, because there's so much hidden yardage and it flipping the field. There's so many things that can happen in a special teams play, that if it's not a positive play, if you're not gaining positive yards, putting your team in a positive field position, putting your defense in a positive field position, putting points on the board in a positive way. Nate talked about earlier that that the defense gave up 14 points. Well, hell, Greg Zuerlein missed 2 extra points. That's 2 points that we just left on the field that should be a gimme for most guys in the National Football League that are doing extra points, especially someone with his experience. So when you start seeing stuff like that, anything that's not impactful in a positive way in the special teams game is negative.
And what's amazing is if we don't fix this week against Cleveland, this thing gonna really snowball, because as y'all said, we've seen the schedule. And yeah, you got to play the rest of the NFC East, and you ain't, and maybe you think that you can just blow through the NFC East. I don't. But these other teams are going to be nice. Their special teams are nice. They got people that can bring it. Last night, the kid from the Ravens, the guy out of Texas, man, Duvernay. Oh, my God. I'm just saying, we got to pick it up everywhere. And I'm with you, Jess. I don't know. I'm not going to use the virus to that effect, man, because
that sounds like
the flu, the common cold. Herpes. Use whatever virus you want to use.
But what you're talking about,
you can't never be positive.
That's terrible.
That's terrible.
Can
Jeff.
that be changed? Can the coaching change that, or is this players now? Is this a culture? I mean, you're talking about they're being sloppy and all that. I mean, how do they fix that?
You know what? I thank God that when I played, and I don't know about with Jess and his teams, and I know it was with Belichick, it get to a point where some players don't allow that. As you saw what happened in the Seahawks game, and DK Metcalf did what he did, the coach got him, and he was kind of trying to walk away from the quarterback because the quarterback was like, "Oh yeah, you got to come see me, brother." I don't know. I don't know if these guys are mentally tough like that and can hold each other accountable to that level, because like Jesse said, everybody's taking their turns and not performing. It's like a team full of my bad, next play, my bad. That's what's happening. My bad. Oh, that one on me. Well, if you get like 25 that one's on me, you lose games.
And there's a small percentage of me that thinks, and I could be 100% wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'm okay with that. But there's a small percentage of me that thinks a lot of this team, a lot of the core of this team comes from a different culture. And being that you didn't have a chance to really impose your will and impose your culture in person as a new head coach with these guys, there's still some residue. There's still something that's still left.
Herpes, right?
No, like herpes. There's still some residue that is left, still floating around in that locker room where guys still may think a certain way. And I just believe that. I do believe that it takes a while to change a culture. It takes a while to truly come in and to put your mark on a group of men or a group of people in general, especially if the large majority of them have been led by someone else for 10 years, for 5 years, 6 years. They've been led and taught to think and to believe like someone else for so long. When you try to come in and implement yours, I think there's still some residue left of what we were before that we haven't quite cycled all the way out yet. And I think that's another reason why you still see Jerry and Stephen Jones being patient with this coaching staff, because they're saying we still, yes, we want results right now, but there's still some film left on this unit and this team
on the side of the tub, huh?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You gotta get in there. You gotta get in there with a little comment. You gotta get in there with a little comment, man.
Clorox,
little Clorox or something, man, and get that elbow grease in there and work it out.
Wow.
But I could be wrong.
That makes sense to me. I mean, you'd think that if you look at the records of the 5 teams that got new coaches, I mean, now some of those teams, granted, aren't very good, but every team with a new coach is struggling a little bit. So I think it's got to be an impact that they didn't have an off season, they didn't have the same time, in training camp to get together and really change the culture. I think it's going to take and we even talked about it before the season started, that it could be 3, 4, 5 games before we maybe really see what this team's about. Hope so, at least. Hope they can change.
We're running up on our 4th game, and this is by far, I think, the easiest game for the players defensively to dissect. They lining up Nick Chubb or the other kid, and they running at you. So it ain't a whole bunch of trickery. They got the 2 receivers and the tight end, and they all just getting into place and coming at you. So, I mean, they won't be saying it was the scheme that blew up on them this time.
Well, let's talk about that team that's coming here to come at us at AT&T Stadium in our next segment. We will be right back after our final break of the show. This is Hangin' with the Boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again for Tailgating with the OtterBox Boys.
OtterBox, the company that builds wildly overprotective phone cases?
The one and only. But cases are just the start. OtterBox is the official outfitter of tailgating.
If they can keep my phone safe, what can they do for my parking lot party?
How about protecting your beverages from suboptimal drinking temperatures with their elevation tumblers? And OtterBox elevation tumblers come in 3 sizes: a 10-ouncer, a 20-ouncer, and even a 64-ounce growler.
Check out all the colors and sizes of their elevation tumblers at otterbox.com.
It's football season, and when you're tailgating with your friends and your family, you want the best meat on your grill. Pettigene Meats makes the best hot dogs, the Pettigene Griller, or the all-beef Franks will score. To complete that tailgate meal, Pettigene Meats has hickory smoked sausage, hot links, Polish sausage, and the best hickory smoked bacon and ham around. Available at your local retailer. And a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. It's Pettigene Meats. Taste the difference.
We can't wait to see the Cowboys back on the field, and we can't wait to pack AT&T Stadium to watch them play. When that time comes, SeatGeek is the place to get all of your tickets. Plus, tickets to the hundreds of games, concerts, rodeos, and other live events we'll all be able to enjoy again soon. Every SeatGeek purchase is protected by a buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. SeatGeek. Let's go.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to the SWBC Mortgage Living Room, Frisco, Texas. If you are coming to the game this weekend and coming to see that stadium, Jesse can tell you about that locker room. If you're coming, make sure you know before you go. Wear a mask, keep distance, and be prepared for cashless transactions. Please be aware of all safe stadium policies prior to arriving at AT&T Stadium. Visit DallasCowboys.com/safe stadium for details. I will be there, and I'll make sure I dedicate an entire segment on Monday to let you know what that game day experience is like. We'll just put Nate on mute, and I'll take the segment over. Is that okay with you, Nate?
Yes, sir. You go at it, man. That way Jesse will run off and leave us.
And there'll be more fans in there, right? They'll open up the capacity a little bit more.
I don't know. Are they?
According to Mr. Jones.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Jones gonna handle this thing. By the 7th game, this thing gonna be full capacity, baby.
and also news that may make some Cowboy fans a little football horny. Yesterday reported that Earl Thomas was headed to Houston for a workout with the Texans. Well, today it's been reported by multiple sources, Josina Anderson to name one of them, that the Houston Texans has kind of called off their workout or postponed their workout with Earl Thomas. So who knows? Maybe he's up 45 north, coming back up this way. You know, you never know. Who knows?
You're gonna start up them rumors again, aren't you?
To all the Earl Thomas hive. Maybe he's coming 45 north.
Jesse. Your general manager and your owner has already said, don't do this to the fans. Don't. I'm just reporting
the news as it comes.
Don't do this to us. Don't do this to the fans.
Now, see, but I'm just saying, it's reporting.
Here, Clarence Hill just tweeted out that there's nothing serious going on regarding talks with Thomas. So who knows?
Guess we'll just wait and see. I don't
sit on the porch and wait and see.
Man, I tell you, our fans are just like, go get him. And to me, I'm like, something is going on with him, because if he was that great of an asset, like guys like him don't grow on trees. No one is going after him, and that's a real red flag to me. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's happening, but for some reason, no one's wanting to pick him up, and that's a huge, I don't know what's going on there. So our fans want him, though.
Do you think they need to do something, though? Or are you good with their comments of saying they like what they're going to go with what they got? Both McCarthy and Stephen Jones said they're just kind of going to go with what they got.
I like it. Give this coaching staff a chance to be with these players. I mean, did you watch the game last night, Kurt?
No, I didn't see that much of it, no.
Well, Kansas City had wide receivers running butt naked down the middle, over the top of safeties as well. Same thing happened against Green Bay and the Saints. There's a lot of teams who's getting beat over the top, and you don't hear everyone coming in saying, "Well, get rid of those safeties and bring in this safety." It happens in football games at times. The Seahawks are giving up 430 yards of passing offense. You think they can't use a safety or two? You know what I'm saying? So it's not like this thing is that we're just this outlier and it's like, oh my God, the Cowboys, if a pass goes over their head, get rid of everybody. Wait a second. Do we watch football here? Like, this is a league where guys are throwing the football down the field. It happened last night. In the Ravens game, and how good is the Ravens defense, right? They've made history. Their whole franchise has been, how good our defense always is. We watched the Green Bay Packers New Orleans Saints game, and for the first time, it was the first time in history one receiver had 2 50-yard plus touchdowns or catches in a half. I mean, it happens everywhere, and people aren't clamoring to run and go get a player that our fan base thinks that we so desperately need. Turn on the game. Take your head out to sand and go turn on the game. It's happening everywhere.
But the only difference was, Kirk, you even got to take at least those other players was trailing behind the receiver and not still looking forward while they run it back. At least they was trailing behind the receiver. Our guys was looking for it like, who got that guy? Cover 2.
Kurt, all right. Kurt gave me a stat here that the Cowboys have only been ahead for about 13 minutes combined in their 3 games, and their largest lead has only been 3 points. As 2 offensive guys, if you're always constantly playing from behind, how tough is that mentally, knowing that it's up to you to go make something happen? Do you are these guys putting too much on their shoulders, or is that just part of the game? Where some games, some seasons, you're going to have to carry the load. Some seasons, the defense is going to carry you. Does that impact the outcome of the game, I guess, from the offensive side of the ball if you're always playing from behind?
It's multiple. As you ask that question, it's multiple answers. If you're a powerful offense, you really don't care. If you're a dominating defense like the Ravens normally would be, Ray Lewis is just telling, hey, man, don't give up 14. Get us 14 points. We got this. Get us 21 points. We got this. Kansas City a year or so ago, before they won that Super Bowl, they're like, hey, we're going to score a bunch of points. Hang on, defense. Just don't hurt us. But in this case here, where your offense is supposed to be telling your defense, hey, man, just don't mess up, it's too late. I mean, you playing from behind. And it's hard to keep grinding. Like Jesse said, now you're pressing, and you're looking for that perfect pass or that perfect run or that perfect block, and it just don't happen in the world of humans. And it can weigh on you as time go on.
Yeah, and again, you speak of the Ravens, you got Ed Reed, you got Terrell Suggs, you got
Ray Lewis.
You got 3 Hall of Famers in that defense. So
yeah.
When you pack a defense with 3 Hall of Famers and a bunch of All Pros, Haloli Nana and all those guys, you know what? Life becomes a little bit easier to say, hey, here's how we gonna do and dictate this pace. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing on offense, when you got an all-world quarterback and you got an all-world play designer and a play caller, and then you got world-class speed on the outside, things get a little bit easier. And this team, you for the most part, you want some sort of balance. You want to know, what? The day that we aren't clicking on all cylinders on offense, defense, can you help us out a little bit? Can you not give up so many touchdowns, or vice versa? Hey, you know what? Offense, we ain't doing as good as we possibly could. So if you can, help us out and score one more touchdown just to make sure. I think the thing that you hit on that is so critical and important is there was a clear-cut identity of who the Ravens were.
Yes.
It was clear-cut. You went into the game, they went into the game knowing exactly who they were. Kansas City goes into the game knowing exactly who they are. I still think this Cowboy team doesn't have an identity of, are we a passing team? Are we a running team? Are we going to rely on our defense? We brought all these pass rushers in. Are we going to pass? I still think that it is undefined coming into a game what this team is going to be. Now, the numbers and the productivity will say, well, you're an offensive team or you're a passing team because, in the last 3 games, Dak has passed for 39 attempts, 47 attempts, and then 57 attempts this last game. So the numbers would say, well, you guys are a passing team. Well, that's because that's what the numbers say. I don't know if that's really the identity that these players go into this game and say, you know what, this is an offensive team or we are a defensive team. It's still this unknown factor, and you go into and you put pressure. You put pressure on guys.
I think McCarthy's definitely a passing first offense. I mean, they're throwing it 60% of the time, which is tops in the league. And, the analytics say he should be a passing first offense, and he's all about analytics. So I think you're going to see that. I think this is going to be the norm. You're going to see close to 50%, 60% passing every game. But is that good? Are you losing that balance?
Can I ask a question, Kurt? Did analytics tell you that when you behind all but 13 minutes of 3 games, ain't that's what you got to do?
Well, yeah, it's okay. So that's back. You said a minute ago that good offense doesn't matter; they'll do their thing. But it sounds like they have to. Being behind all the time is making a difference.
Are you saying the Cowboys are a great offense? Are you saying
said that a minute ago?
No, I said Kansas City. You didn't. Kansas City is a great offense. That's what I said. I say the Ravens had a great defense. That's what I said. The Cowboys, I'm agreeing with Jesse. Who are they? You just told me that they spent 13 minutes out of 3 games ahead, and the most they've ever been is 3 points. I'm asking you now. Are they a great offense? That don't sound
very offensive to me.
I think they're going to be a run and gun, shoot it out offense.
Get it out.
They're going to sling it around. I think that's what McCarthy wants. I think they're going to throw close to 60% of the time.
You like how Kurt couldn't even get halfway through that sentence, and he convinced himself that the point he was about to make was not a good point, and he tried to.
No, I'm staying with my point. I'm staying. They're going to be throwing 60% of the time.
Oh, you pointing at you now, Shannon. You see him pointing at you. Shut up.
I'm telling you. McCarthy wants to sling it around. That's the new age football, and that's the way he's going to take it. At least that's what the analytics would show you that, and that's what he seems to be. So I think
we've been an analytic disaster these last 3 games. You're the only team that can't get the analytics right.
Kurt, you had a question.
I think unless they got the lead, they're going to be throwing it.
You had a question in the break, and I'll flip it around and ask you this question. This team should be 0-3. They're 1-2. Do you feel better about this team right now than you did about this team last year that started out 3-0, but it was against the Giants, the Washington, and Miami?
Three trash teams. Yeah, I do feel better because for that reason. I think they still, they've got this new coaching staff that I think they're still trying to get used to. They're still trying to figure out their identity, like you guys said. But I think they've just played tougher competition. I mean, they went into Seattle, and despite all the bad things they did, all the bad defense, the turnovers, the penalties, the special teams, all of that, they had the lead late in the game and were driving to win it. So, against maybe the best team in the NFL. So, yes, I think they are definitely a better team than they were last year, at least at this point, despite the record.
Yeah, I don't think at any point in time in that game I believe that the Cowboys were going to win that game. It's like you try to have that feeling. I got a feeling this team's going to come back and win this game. And they did exactly what I thought they would do against a team that was giving up almost 500 yards of total offense. They went and got 500 yards of total offense. But at the end of the day, they couldn't finish the job.
Go ahead on. I know it's hard. Your dad is getting involved. I know it's hard. Go ahead on. Finish.
Do you like where they are now, though, compared to last year?
Listen, one daddy didn't come back, and I don't want to run this daddy off. I'm trying to hold on. I'm hold on to Freaky Mike. You know what I'm saying? Just when dads get around me, they just go bad. I don't know why is that.
It's only.
I tell you like this here, fellas. I tell you like this here. Sometimes when you play tough, physical, good teams, it spurs you. You know, because you pick your level of play up. And that happened to me when I played with the Cowboys. We played, our division was, the NFC East was physical. And we took some beatings. But when we started to play some of the AFC teams back in that day that wasn't so good, we started winning. And once we got that winning way, it grew momentum. Maybe the Cowboys can get some momentum. Maybe they can, you know, even though Cleveland got a stout team. I mean, we say Cleveland, then we think bad. But look at some film. They don't look as bad as what their name is. So maybe we can get past Cleveland and start and get some momentum and start rolling. I mean, I don't know.
Cleveland is a more undisciplined, They're more just everything that we are. They're worse at it. And that's why they are so they're more inconsistent. They're more undisciplined, and as a team, they're more stupid than we are. And so that's the chance that we have to go in and beat Cleveland because they're gonna do things more dumb than we do.
I don't think so. Our offensive line better be intact. I promise you. They Sheldon Richardson, them guys coming. Yes, sir. It's Cowboys offense and Cleveland defense, right?
Yes, sir. Cowboys offense, Cleveland defense. When we bring the show back, we'll run it back again tomorrow. We'll see if.
Well, you didn't tell us what you thought of the. Are you feeling better now?
No, hell no. Have you watched the last 3 games? Ain't nothing. I don't feel good about nothing. No.
Oh, shut up.
No. If they, I guess the one encouraging thing is if they can take their heads out of their butts. It's all things that they can correct. It's not like you don't have the talent and you don't have the coaching and you don't have the creativity. You got it all. You just got to, I feel like a broken record. I feel like we've heard this the last 10 years. You got to go out and execute, and they're not executing. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. If they can start doing what they're supposed to do, then you got one of the top teams in the league. So let's see. But right now, no, I don't feel good at all. I don't feel good about this team, but I think they can turn it around. But let's see if they do. So, Jesse, Nate, Kurt, it's been real. Chris, thanks for keeping us on the air. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk a little Browns, Cowboys. Hopefully Wednesday will help Jesse get out of the gutter and get his life back on track.
Today.
We will be back tomorrow. Hanging with the boys.
Cover two.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!